Hey guys, it's Miss Amanda, and I know your science fair project presentations are due very soon, and I did mention that you can do your experiment on camera and show us exactly what it is that you did. If you have the time, if your experiment obviously took days to perform, then you don't need to do it on camera. You can just show us and tell us about what you did. But if you're going to do your experiment on camera, I'm going to do one too, and it might be the same one that you are doing. I am doing one involving dissolving hot chocolate in different temperatures of water. And if you did this one as well, no worries, good choice. I've been waiting to do this one. It's no big deal. If anything, now maybe you'll have a better idea of what to do. And it's going to help out everybody. So during your experiment, you're always going to want to find a question, a problem, or something that you want to figure out. So hot chocolate. It's called hot chocolate for a reason. I want to see what temperature water works best, and if that is why we call it hot chocolate. If it's only because whatever works the best to make it, what tastes the best, I'm not sure. So after you pick your topic, question, problem that you want to figure out and learn more about, you're going to make a guess about it. So you're going to use your senses to see these observations that may spark certain ideas, or may make you think in a new direction, or just make you curious. So I'm looking at different temperatures of water and hot chocolate mix. And my prediction is, my educated guess, my hypothesis, is that hot water will dissolve the hot chocolate powder the fastest, making it the best to create hot chocolate. In order to prove that my hypothesis is true or false, I have to test it out. So I'm going to have to perform an experiment. So usually then, I will then go and do some further research into hot chocolate. And as part of your assignment, you're going to see, or whatever topic that you chose, obviously not hot chocolate, you're going to go into further detail. You want to figure out more information. Any questions that you have that need to be answered that might actually help you understand more during the experiment, help you prep for your experiment, or while you're performing your experiment. So I'm going to need certain materials and supplies to perform my experiment. So I'm going to need 1, 2, and 3 mugs to test out my different types of water. So when I go downstairs, I'm going to bring back 3 different cups of ice cold water, of room temperature water, and of boiling hot water. And then I'm going to take my measuring cup and I'm going to put the same amount of water into each of my cups. I'm going to put it into this mug, my mug number 2, and my mug number 3. Then we're one at a time. I'm going to take the same type of packet of the same type of hot chocolate and the same amount, and I'm going to open it and put it into maybe my cold water first. Then I'm going to use a stopwatch and I'm going to time it to see how long it takes to stir and dissolve the hot chocolate. Once it's done, I'm going to click stop on my stopwatch. I'm going to write down the time, and then I'm going to do the same exact thing with the room temperature water and the same exact thing with the boiling hot water. And then we're going to see the results, and we're going to see the numbers, because we are measuring this in seconds or minutes, depending on how long it's going to take. So depending on your grade, you have different requirements that you have to meet that I gave out in your packet. So you can use that packet or certain pages as a checklist to make sure you cover everything during your presentation and during your experiment. So while you do it, the best scientists are always explaining what they do step by step and explaining their knowledge behind it. You are the one who performed and learned and did all this research, and are now an expert on your experiment. Go ahead and use your knowledge and teach someone else so they can become an expert too. Don't just perform your experiment and then not explain what you were doing. Go ahead and teach someone else. That's what this presentation is about. I want to learn more about your topic, even though I did not perform the experiment, nor did I do the research. I want you to be the scientist, I want you to be the researcher, and I want you to show me the hard work that you've done. So, with that said, we are going to go ahead and we are going to go perform the experiment. So I'm going to bring back a cup of ice cold water, room temperature water, and hot water. So when I do my experiment, I always want all my measurements and everything to be the same with what I'm doing, except for the one thing I'm testing about. So I'm testing about the temperature of water, right? I want to see if it makes a difference and which one works best. So I want to keep everything else the same. So all these mugs are ceramic, and now I'm going to make sure I measure the amount of water that I'm putting into each cup. So here is my ice cold water. The only difference about this water is that it's ice. It has ice in it and it's cold. Each time I pour the different temperature water into my measuring cup, I'm going to measure 6 ounces so it's all the same. I'm going to go ahead. This is going to be my cold water mug. Next, I'm going to take my packet. I'm going to use the same type of hot chocolate for all of them, like I said earlier, and I'm going to use the whole packet. I forgot to grab a spoon to mix, so I'm going to use a pencil instead. But every scientist must record their data and their results. So what that means is you have to write down everything that you do and everything that you find out. So I'm going to use a stopwatch to see how long it takes for it all to dissolve in the cold water. And then I'm going to write down the time next to what type of water it is. So let me grab my stopwatch. All right, here's my stopwatch. I'm going to pour it in, and as soon as I start stirring, I'm going to click the button. So my cold water still never fully dissolved my hot chocolate mix. I'll show you what it looks like in a quick second, but as you can see, I stopped the clock at 4 minutes and 37 seconds. And I'm just going to call it quits, and I'm going to put down that time because my arm is getting kind of tired.
Everybody does. Listen. These buttons.
So I just recorded that it took 4 minutes and 37 seconds for my cold water. Now I'm going to measure out my room temperature water. And of course, I'm going to measure it at 6 ounces. Now I'm going to do the same exact thing that I did for the first one because I have to do them all the same way. So I pour it into my mug. I'm going to pour it in. Then I'm going to start to stir. And once I start to stir, I'm going to turn on my timer. The room temperature water actually fully dissolved the hot chocolate powder at about 2 minutes and 34 seconds. So as we can see so far, cold water is so far not the best for the hot chocolate. So now we're finally going to see if the hot water is going to perform better than the room temperature water. Recording my results, microwaved 6 ounces, so then it became hot water, and I'm opening up my packet. I'm going to pour the water in. I'm going to get my stirrer ready and my stopwatch ready. Marcus is ready too. I'm going to pour it in. And I'm going to begin. It only took me 15.9 seconds to stir and dissolve the hot chocolate mix into the hot water. So clearly, hot water is the best for dissolving hot chocolate mix because it was the fastest and most efficient way. mostly since the ice cold water did not even dissolve, did not even do the job. We couldn't make hot chocolate. We couldn't even make cold chocolate if we wanted to. We were only really able to make hot chocolate in the best way. Make sure that you're always referring back to your boards and your posters. So that's where you have all of your data, all the stuff that you did in the past when you first did your experiment, even if you're doing it again on camera, because remember, it should not be the first time that you're doing your experiment, because you should already have your whole project done. You're going to make sure you show your results in a certain type of graph, a pie graph, a bar graph, a line graph, whatever makes sense for your experiment. So I did not make a project. I would just perform an experiment for you. Let's now see which one tastes the best. So I'm going to start off with my cold water. The cold water actually tastes really good. I'm sure the room temperature water is also going to taste good, but we have to make sure, right? Science. The room temperature one and the cold one kind of reminds me more of drinking like a Yoo-hoo, like when they come in the box and they're not actually cold. Now we're going to try the hot chocolate. Maybe I'll take my pencil out. To blow on it, it's so hot. I don't know if it's because it's about like 70 degrees out today, but the cold hot chocolate is actually my favorite one to drink at the moment. So this is why we get different results depending on what we're testing for, whether it's taste, whether it's satisfaction, whether it's dissolving, whether it's how long it takes for something to grow, or how much mold, or how much this, or how much that. It depends on what you're measuring, what your topic is, what the situation, the problem. Everyone's experiment's going to be different. It's okay if yours is completely different than what I just did. It's not supposed to all be the same. And if you do exactly what I just did, you are also correct because this is what I told you to do. So don't worry, it's as easy as it is. You just go step by step in front of the camera, just like how you did beforehand. And you just talk about what you know, what you're doing, and what you learned. Thanks so much, guys, and I hope you guys have the best time. Have fun with it. Don't be nervous. It's all super easy. And if you've already done it before, and don't forget, you are the expert.